Welcome to Midcard Maniacs. I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
And today we're doing our AEW Tag Team tier list for Fall 2020.
Yep.
These are all of the tag teams that have done at least a few matches together, because there are people on AEW Dark which wouldn't necessarily classify for this list. So this is like the bulk of the main tag teams in AEW.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we're going to look at this probably more opinion as to who we like versus who is super talented. There may be great wrestlers, but we may just like their characters and how they mesh together better than their wrestling ability.
As well as how they're booked. I think booking is really important. So we don't really know exactly. We'll talk it out for each person. So let's move to the tiers. So we're gonna start off. Let's start off with something that we think is higher.
Yeah.
So let's start with the Young Bucks, because I think that they would be S tier.
Yeah, they're definitely S tier. So in case you don't know, S is the best, and then it works its way down.
I think people get that. I think they figured that out. So yes, Young Bucks are one of the best tag teams in the world. So it's nice to find we need to set a best.
Yeah.
Because they're at the top. They're at the top.
Yeah, we like their wrestling. We like their wrestling. We like their characters. I just think they're good. They deserve it.
All right. Now let's go in order. Now that we have the best. I like right now I like their heel turn. I like that they're going into the darker side. Okay, we've got Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. I like both wrestlers independently, and they are fantastic at what they do, and I think their chemistry is great. How they're being used, I don't know.
I would put them more on a C tier because they're it's they're the top of dark, but they're not close to people in Dynamite.
It hurts me because I really like them.
I know.
I think they're really good.
They just need to be given more of a chance to grow. They're starting out as a solid team.
Yeah.
And I think they can.
And they are feeding as well. As far as booking is concerned, they're feeding currently.
That's what I mean. I feel B is right in the middle, and they're not. They're one step away from being at the bottom of Dynamite. They're definitely top of Dark.
True. Very true. Okay, we'll put this here for now. I'm
We'll see how it plays out with other people.
We might have to move things around because this is gonna be so hard as you figure out wait a second, that doesn't make sense. We'll go with the Best Friends.
I would put them A.
I think they're A for sure.
Yeah.
They are quality guys, especially them and Santana and Ortiz. That parking lot, oh my god! But you got to think they are winning a lot of matches.
They have good gimmicks. Everything's really good with them in the sense that they put on entertaining matches and they're enjoyable to watch. They're in good storylines.
And you got to give the fans what they want.
Yeah. And you know what? If they were to win the titles, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be you know what? I believe them as champions.
Absolutely. Okay. Butcher and Blade. This is an interesting one because I really like them, but they're not used really well.
That's where I would want to put them in B, but they're definitely in C for me because, again, they can destroy anyone in Dark.
Yes.
And they can still hold their own on Dynamite, but I wouldn't have them competing for the title yet because they haven't had a real feud. They haven't had their standalone moments.
That's true. It's now that Eddie Kingston is helping them along, it's going to be nice, and it's getting them Dynamite time. I don't think they're there yet, although Butcher just took on Moxley last week, which was so good.
Yeah. And they have a great look, they have great chemistry, and if they were given a proper feud, I can totally see them jumping up the next level.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing with Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. They just haven't been given the proper TV time to get up in the next
Wait,
rank.
Maybe I don't know what's going to be B team.
I think we could find a good B team. I think we'll see it as it goes.
Okay. So we've got Lutheran Serpentico, the Chaos Project. This is a D team.
This is the Dark. I mean, nothing against them, but
It's like they're great independent wrestlers, but like independently wrestling. They're not indie wrestlers, but they're definitely just feeding. And I do like where they're going with them. I just don't think they're there yet. And they just, I mean, within the last couple weeks, they've come up with their first name, like the Chaos Project.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's.
We've got FTR.
They're an S. They have to be.
Are they?
Yeah, they haven't disappointed in any of their matches. I like where their characters are going. And if there's anyone who's going to be close to being on par with the Young Bucks, it's definitely them.
Right, and that's like a dream match in itself. I've never really been a fan of them at all. I would have gone A personally.
It's tough. But they're just so technically sound. They're very, very good at what they do.
Fair.
Like, Young Bucks are super crazy high flying at the best. These guys are like ground and pound mat, technical wrestlers.
That's true. Like, I respect them for that.
And they're the champs.
It's fine. It's fine. All right, we got Evil Uno and Stu Grayson.
And this one is a tough one too, because Stu Grayson, fantastic wrestler on his own, and I love watching him wrestle.
I like both of them. Like, I think they're really good together. I don't think that they are the best. They're not being used the best, that's for sure. Because when Dark Order does a tag team match, usually it's like, here's 5 and 10. Yeah. Here's Silver and Reynolds. Or here's somebody else. Although Silver and Reynolds is also on here, so we'll exclude that. But like, Dark Order, so this isn't Dark Order as a whole. This is specifically Uno and Grayson, who don't tag that often in AEW. And I'm gonna go with B.
Yeah, like they're
the lower Dynamite tier.
Yeah, they're lower Dynamite tier, but like still a team I would believe if they got into a title match, I could see them winning.
I don't see that happening ever. The Gun Club, that's D.
That's D.
Sorry, Austin Gunn, I don't believe in you.
Billy's got him.
Billy's good. Austin needs work, and I think they just don't work necessarily as a tag team. Like, they're not something that I go to Dynamite or Dark to watch. Like,
you're not excited for the Gun Club.
And why would I be?
Yeah.
There's nothing to suggest that I should be. So D is where they belong. TH2.
I would put them in C. They can be a main event Darker and almost get to that level.
Right.
In Dynamite.
In technical ability, I think they're way above this. And that's what's tricky about this whole tier thing. It's like, technical ability is worked into this, but it's not necessarily the deciding factor. TH2 is so fucking good.
I know. They have a great look. They have a great gimmick. They put on great matches, but they're not being used. And that's the thing. I think we do a 2020 winner list, and this could be completely different. It's just how people are being presented right now, because if they're just not being used.
Agreed. This is weird because we've got Jericho, who was with the Sex Gods with Sammy, but now he's with Jake Hager.
And you know what?
I don't think they're very good as a tag team.
I put them as C. They're great single stars, but if I had to choose between like Butcher and Blade and these guys, I would rather see Butcher and Blade get up there.
Right. So are we saying Butcher and Blade is B? I feel Butcher and Blade is here.
You think so?
Yeah, if Hager and Jericho are here, Butcher and Blade are here. But I would say the same with Joey Janela as well.
I say, yeah, let's move them up. Okay.
Because now we kind of have like a different line here. This makes more sense to me. Because these guys, you can see them fight and you don't know who's winning.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, but now we're pulling out some big guns here. We got the Jurassic Express. Now, this is easily between S and A.
Yeah.
I think it's probably A team. I would love to see Jurassic Express get the titles at some point, but I'd also like to see Jungle Boy go and do his own thing and do a singles run.
Same with Luchasaurus, but as a unit and package-wise, I think they deliver with everything that you would want in an entertaining tag team. But they're not on the same level as the Bucks and FTR.
No, it's not going to draw the same numbers.
Yep. So I would put them as A.
This is good.
Yep.
Lucha Bros. These guys are fucking top tier performers, and I absolutely love them. But I don't think that they're necessarily in the contender spot. Like,
no,
they're not S tier, even though they would be in like any other promotion.
A year ago, they would have been S tier.
Yes.
But right now, just where they've been and what they've done, I think they're A. Because, like, if they got thrown into a title feud right now with FTR, it would be something that I would want to watch, and I think they would deliver.
Agreed. Which is weird because we have Eddie Kingston's, like, we've got 2 tag teams.
Yeah.
A and B. But they kind of booked similarly. Private Party is kind of in a weird spot because, well, they are booked well. I don't think that they, and I do like them, I don't think that they are A. I think that's B tier.
Yeah, they're definitely in a B tier because they're the type of people, kind of like Evil Uno and Grayson, that we're going to put them on Dynamite, they're going to do their job, and they'll either eat the pinfall or steal a win. But they're not gonna take the titles.
No. I one day. I feel that with everyone here is like, except for like Jericho and Hager, I don't want to see them with the titles. I don't think Serpentico and Luther will ever have the titles. Gun Club's not gonna have the titles. But like the upper echelon here, I think might, like, there's a potential for all of them to have the titles. Although Joey Janela and Uno, I don't think so. We've got the Natural Nightmares with QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes.
They're a C for me.
I think they're a C.
They're definitely a C. They're it's the same idea. Like, they can really put on a great match at Dark, but when it comes to Dynamite, they'll hold their own, but they're not groundbreaking greatness.
QT has definitely improved a lot, though. I will say that. Like, he's really impressed me. When I first saw him do that weird flip thing over the top rope, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then you find out, oh, he's like one of the trainers and he's in the back end, or like the backstage area, and he's doing training and stuff, and you're like, oh, they're just giving him a shot because, why not? Similar to like Brandon Cutler, I think. Who is excluded from this list, by the way, because now the initiative is officially broken up. So that's obviously, I think they would be D tier. Like, I love the initiative. I think Avalon and Cutler are fantastic, but they are no longer a tag team, so unfortunately they aren't included.
It's kind of sad. I really liked their gimmick.
I know. The D&D thing is great. It gives Leva Bates TV time, like, every single episode. I would like to see Leva Bates finally get into the women's division and do matches as opposed to just doing a random Hurricanrana. But hey. All right, now we have Santana and Ortiz.
I would love to see them in S because I'm overly entertained by them, but I know they deserve to be an A.
I don't think they're even A.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think they're on the same tier as... So I like them as well.
But I just feel like on equal terms with the Best Friends.
That's a good point.
Yeah, like, you can't have Best Friends be in A and these guys not be in it.
I don't know. This is so hard.
This is the tough one. Because, like, if you, let's say we have a match here. Okay, so we look at all the people in B, and then we look at...
You're right. Okay, these are the main stars. Like, these guys could headline or at least co-main event a Dynamite.
Yeah.
That's okay, fine. SCU is going to be weird. I think that most people would expect an S tier because of just like their breadth of like talent
and their history, and they've never really put on a bad match.
But I also don't think that they deserve S tier.
No, I would put them in. I would put them in the A. Like,
I know it sucks, and I don't even know if they are deserving of A currently because they've done better work. Again, singles wrestlers in AEW.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things. A year ago, they would have been A, no problem, borderline S.
I'm saying B because this is the most common kind of match that you would see.
Yeah, you would see SCU versus
Private Party.
Private Party in the opening of AEW Dynamite.
Yes. I'm sorry. I get it. And this is weird too because you think that who is making up this tag team? Yes, we have 3 people.
Yeah. It's normally
Christopher Daniels.
He's on the sideline.
He's been on the sideline, so it's been like Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky. People love Sky. Frankie Kazarian, I don't think has like the gimmick that people are attracted to. Like he doesn't have a gimmick really. He's great on BTE. Like I like him there. But I don't find him very appealing as a wrestler in general.
All right, so this last one is an S for me. Easily. Only because...
Oh, give me a fucking break.
S for Silver.
Silver is fantastic. He's the funniest guy. We call him, Little Muscle Pervert is his nickname now.
This is a D or a C level. Definitely a C level, I think. Because, like, if I had to see them wrestle, like, anyone in this C thing...
I don't believe that. I think they're D.
Oh!
I'm sorry.
No!
There's no way. Because, like, you're not seeing, like, the Beaver Boys here take on... Like, they're not beating...
Jericho and Hager?
There's not a fucking chance. They're getting squashed.
I hate the idea of that. Because they're so good.
They are so good. They are so much fun. If you guys do not watch Being the Elite, you need to because Silver makes it. Every time the Dark Order is like the best aspect of that whole show, and Silver is the best. His little muscly arms, and he's just always being crazy.
And he's pretty funny whenever Lee's like here, hold my like title or whatever, like, and he's always getting picked on by him.
I know. I love it. So this is actually pretty good. And if you think of like a bell curve, usually when you're ranking anything, you want it to kind of go from like high, and then you want it to like be higher in the middle, and then lower it towards the end again. This is pretty on par with basically every ranking system. So I'm pretty comfortable with this. And I think this makes the most sense. Like if you look at B tier, you're like, okay, yes, I do see these matchups all the time.
Mm-hmm. And then when you look at A,
and then you compare them to C, it's like, yes, they do squash these guys.
Yeah. and then when you look at A, if anyone's gonna go for the title, I could see any of them in a feud right now or closing Dynamite in a tag match.
Absolutely. What did you guys think of our tier list of the AEW tag teams in fall 2020? Let us know in the comments. Like this video, and if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Midcard Maniacs.